One final notice. One positively final notice. One, we have no option but to take legal action. And one, if you have paid our account in the last 10 days, please ignore some
We must be the first tenants on this estate to get a solicitor's letter from the window cleaner. Good Lord.
Don't say we've actually paid one of them.
No, listen to this. Lord and Lady Seacroft have pleasure in accepting Rollo Bognor Regis's invitation and look forward to drinking his health at the Ritz on the 14th.
You shouldn't be reading Mummy's private letters.
She shouldn't be writing them, not to Rollo Bognor Regis anyway. The Ritz, for crying out loud, they'll be wanting to go to the back house garden party next.
It's the first year they've missed it. Mother was very upset.
If she's so fond of garden parties, why didn't she come to the sale of work in aid of the Workers' Dawn Liberation Front? I'll tell you why. We may live in a council house and we may eat fish and chips 3 times a week, but underneath it all, our revered parents are still Lord and Lady of the Manor.
That is very unfair. They're trying very hard indeed to be genuinely working class.
Well, children, how do we look?
Mother, you're wearing
blue. Well, of course I'm wearing blue, dear. I've no option but to wear blue. It's the only decent piece of clothing I possess.
Yes. So that's where that dress got to. I've been looking for it everywhere.
Oh, don't be absurd, dear. It wouldn't fit you.
Fight this tendency, my boy. That's my advice to you. Regard it as a passing fad. I've no doubt after a cold bath you'll be as right as rain.
I don't want to wear Mother's dress. I want to pawn it. And the same goes for your morning suit.
What?
Pawn your father's suit? No, you go too far, Edwin.
Gareth.
Oh, yes, I was forgetting. We were intending to christen you, Edwin, in memory of your Uncle George, but that's all in the past. Now, your father, you can't pawn his suit because he's wearing it to Rollo Bognor Regis's wedding on the 14th.
Yes, we must support old Rollo in his hour of need.
Oh, indeed we must. It's all that friends can do, and there'll be champagne cocktails. Oh, I haven't had a champagne cocktail since goodness knows when.
You haven't paid the gas bill since goodness knows when either. You do know they're threatening to cut us off, don't you?
They may do as they please. We shall do our cooking over an open fire in
We
the
can
future.
roast an ox in the garden. Why not? We haven't done that since Seacroft Hall.
You'll be hard put to roast half a pound of sausages in the garden. This is the butcher's bill, and this is the gas bill.
Gareth, this ceaseless prattle about butchers and bakers and candlestick makers. The subject under discussion is not bills, but weddings. I repeat my original question. How do I look?
like an impoverished peer on the verge of bankruptcy.
Dad, you can't afford to go to Rollo Bognor Regis's wedding.
But he's my oldest friend. I always go to his weddings. Damn it, I was best man.
Mother, Dad, how can I get through to you? Poverty is staring us in the face. The only capital we possess is what you stand up in. If I don't pawn those clothes, we don't eat.
Then we shall do without eating. We'll do with an inch off the old tub in any case. You know, Philida, this club has positively shrunk since it was last given an outing. When was it last given an outing?
At Lucilla Aldershot's garden. Oh, dear, there's the stain on the elbow where you fell in the punch bowl.
No, it isn't. Really? Oh, it all comes back to me. Oh, my God, Gareth wasn't there that much. Do you remember, my darling, the champagne fountain, the music, the dancing on the lawn, and the food? Oh, my sainted aunt, the food. All that caviar and those wild strawberries. Oh.
In the conservatory with the late sunlight streaming in and Tommy Kinsman's band playing A Room with a View.
Yeah. And you were wearing that apple green number that you bought in Paris. And you had a bunch of thingamy in your hat. And I don't remember whether I mentioned it at the time, Philida, but you looked absolutely stunning.
Oh, so did you, Robin. So did you.
Meanwhile, back at the council house...
There's a little matter of 35 unpaid bills.
A fig for your bills and a fig for your council house. Now, look here, Gareth. Your mother and I are prepared to put up with a good deal. I've given up my club, my shooting, and my fishing. Your mother has given up her bridge afternoons. We accept all this with as much grace as we can possibly muster while living in what appears to be a hen coop. We accept that we no longer have our estates, that we get nothing for breakfast, except what appears to be a small mattress floating in milk. We drink inferior sherry. We've cut out the venison, the dry martinis, the canapes, and the petit four after dinner, which, may I say in passing, your mother was inordinately fond. That is so. Be that as it may, such is life, c'est la vie. But one thing they will not take away from us, and that is Rollo Bognor Regis's wedding. Come hell or high water, On the 14th of this month, your mother and I will be firmly ensconced in the Ritz Hotel, swigging champagne cocktails 19 to the dozen.
Oh, Robin, how enchanting.
Yeah.
I knew it couldn't last. And what about the working class?
The working class can go and boil its collective head.
But you promised you'd join it.
But surely it's blazingly obvious we have joined it. Doesn't mean to say we have to dance attendance of it at the end of the day. If the working class requires us on the 14th, they will find us at the Ritz Hotel. And there is no power on God's earth that can stop us. Right?
Dad, the bills.
Cocoa, Mummy?
Oh, thank you, dear. How possibly nourishing.
Daddy,
What, dear?
would you like some cocoa?
No, thank you, dear. Since you asked, what I would like and what I fully intend to have on the evening of the 14th is a very, 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 very large brandy and soda.
Renegade?
Ah, by the by, Gareth, did you remember to take my morning suit to the cleaners?
Yes, Dad.
And Davina, did you send my dress to the invisible menders?
Yes, Mummy.
And both dress and morning suit will be back in full working order by the 14th, Well, will they or won't they?
Yes, Daddy.
Good. Then it only remains, Phillida dear, to raise about 40 or 50 pounds for incidental expenses, including wedding present, and we're all set and raring to go. Now, the question is, how does one raise 40 or 50 pounds?
Well, there is such a thing as working for it.
Yes, Gareth, I've given some thought to working for it, and on principle, I think it's the worst, most damn fool idea I've ever heard in my born days.
Chickened out, haven't you? You've reverted to form.
My dear Gareth, if we'd reverted to form, we should hardly be crouched over a tiled fireplace, consuming a chocolate drink.
The truth is, old chap, you see, when a man set his heart on champagne cocktails at the Ritz, the more plebeian pursuits lose some of their glamour. So, the question remains, how does one raise 40 or 50 pounds without doing a damn stroke?
Your late father set great store by his poker evenings.
Yes, the trouble there is, my dear, the local sports here favour bingo, a game that baffles me completely.
Well, then there were his Saturdays. One Easter Saturday, he made £2,000.
Yes, and lost it again on Easter Sunday at poker. But by Jove, Phillida, I believe you've hit it. Yes, Father's Saturdays. We'll do it.
Daddy, you wouldn't dare.
Dare? Who wouldn't dare?
Daddy, we'll be the laughing stock of the whole neighbourhood.
I don't care for the laughing stock of the whole British Isles. We're going to that blasted wedding by hook or by crook. Oh, it's got skin on it.
Pour me a cup of tea, Dad.
Still don't see how you can charge 5 pence for a perfectly ordinary box of matches.
Well, it's a perfectly ordinary house, isn't it? Anyway, nobody's going to turn up, so what does it matter?
What you mean is that we hope no one's going to turn up. Well, what if he raised the money and wanted to know where his morning suit's got to?
Don't even think of it. Thanks.
5 pence, please.
The house wasn't built for the Seacrofts, of course. It was originally occupied by some people called Pearson. And there hangs a rather fascinating tale. Apparently, Mrs. Pearson had bad feet. She's still remembered in the neighbourhood for having suffered something chronic. Couldn't manage the stairs, apparently. No, these are their stairs, just as they were in Pearson's day. Of course, the paintwork's been restored a bit. Well, anyway, ultimately, they moved into a council bungalow, or so legend has it, and the house passed to the Seacrofts.
Very interesting. Well,
Turning out of the Great Hall, we move into the drawing room. Now, this was completed in about 1948, I believe, at the same time as the main building. You will note the interesting proportions of the room. And a curious feature is the fireplace, which appears to have been installed by drunken navvies. Note the north window with its commanding view of Windermere Drive. The curtains came from Seacroft Hall, where they hung in the old night nursery. The chairs and table came from the High Street Furniture Mart. But the piano, on which you have placed your lolly, belonged to my dear mother, the Honourable Mrs. Throttleton of Throttleton Grange. The Indian or African, I beg your pardon, relics came willy-nilly from the Matabele. The wallpaper was installed by some people named Pearson. And the stain on the east wall was caused by rising damp. The Seacroft family still use the drawing room quite frequently. Occasionally, they dine here informally.
Yep, you see.
Now, you'll see we have a crack in the ceiling, and this, of course, is the light switch. Oh, and this fellow here is a suit of armour, yes.
Oh, I see.
Been in the family over 300 years. You'll have heard of Oliver Cromwell, no doubt?
Yeah. I reckon you're not fought with the Cavaliers, eh?
No. We were in the war surplus racket, as a matter of fact. There's scores of these things. Oh, now this. This is the linen cupboard. Probably once used for storing linen, but now a depository for carrots and turnips.
Fond of a bit of veg, are you?
Detest both carrots and turnips, but we fetched over 600 weight from Seacroft Hall, you see. Well, waste not, want not, what? So much for the master bedroom. Sorry you can't actually see inside, but it's damned impossible to contain two people at the same time. Unless one of them's in bed, of course. Fault of my wife, actually, insisted on retaining the Ford poster. So, what you're looking at now is a ventilator. It's installed by the Borough Council, I believe. Causes a hell of a draught. Now, let me show you the billiard room.
Billiard room? In a house this size?
A bit of a tight squeeze for what used to be the box room, but we manage. Yes, we manage. Now, hold hard. Wait a minute. Hang on. Right, in. Right, in. Okay. Hold up. Now, how do you think of that, then? Huh?
Very nice indeed. How do you play?
How do I play? How do I play, my dear chap? It's the simplest thing in the world. Hold hard. I'll just open the window. Now then.
These are famous reproductions from Seacroft Hall. Follow me. That was Hermes, and there's Venus, or Aphrodite. And that is my husband, playing billiards.
There's a crust there that you haven't finished.
Thank you.
Are you quite sure, little boy, that you've had enough to eat?
Yes, thank you.
And there's nothing else you'd like to see, no questions you'd like to ask?
No, thank you.
Then that will be 25 pence to the tea and 10 pence to the visit.
35 pence? I ain't got 35 pence.
We'll take a check.
But what I mean is, I ain't got no money.
No money? Oh, you tiresome child, what are you doing here?
Well, I only come to ask if you got anything for the jumble sale.
Hard luck. Yes, I got that chocolate. Yes, let me take your cue. Now, can we get past? All right. There we go. There's your cue. Now then. Close the window. I didn't close the window. Oh, damn. Oh, well done.
There you are. Half a quid you owe me then.
Yes, well, settle up in due course. You sure you would like another game, double or quits?
I've got to keep moving. Other calls in the district.
You mean other people are throwing open their houses to the public? It's a bit of a cheek, isn't it? I thought of the idea first. If there's nothing else I can show you, we've got rather interesting boot cupboard downstairs.
No, we'll leave that over top. But I tell you what I wouldn't mind seeing.
Yeah?
That's your gas meter.
Gas meter?
Yeah.
It's a perfectly ordinary gas meter. There's nothing curious about it, I do assure you.
Yes, well, I do appreciate that, but you see, I've come round to cut off your gas.
I mean, really, I would have thought somebody would have been... All right, then? Yes. Well, I think you rather know. Well, I suppose we can claim the sale of work was a limited success. 39 pence and a quantity of trouser buttons. Not quite the haul we hoped for.
It's really very disappointing. One puts oneself out for these people, and they don't rise to the occasion. It reminds me of Dorset, when my dear mother organised her Flag Day.
A flag day?
No, Daddy.
No, perhaps you're right. The object of the exercise, after all, is to end up at the Ritz Hotel and not at the Old Bailey. Ah, now, Gareth, you're the mathematician of the family. What's 40 or 50 pounds minus 39 pence and a quantity of trouser buttons?
Look, Dad. Oh, for heaven's sake. Mother, can't you tell him?
Tell what and to whom?
You know.
No, I don't know.
But he's living in a dream world, Mummy. The fun days are over. There will be no champagne cocktails at the Ritz.
I shall believe that to be so when your father tells me it is so.
Not even 39 damn pence. It's 34 damn pence and some Italian job. That made of tin foil, I ask you. Really was impertinent. When were we last in Italy, my dear?
Oh, in 1949, we stayed at the embassy.
And yet people go there in droves, year after year. How does the embassy manage to put them up?
They go on package tours, Dad, and the reason they go year in, year out is because they work for a living.
Work, yes.
Real work, not babysitting or putting on flower shows. Your actual 40-hour week, getting your hands dirty, work.
You know, Gareth, I'm beginning to think you're right. Phillida, my dear, we have shilled and we have shallowed. We have dipped our toes in the water, but we have failed to dive in at the deep end.
Yes, yes, dear. I have put my mind to the matter now. Have you read the advertisement in the evening paper?
What advertisement? The Go-Go Club Herbert Morrison bypass requires topless dancers?
No. the one that I marked with my fountain pen.
Oh, that one. Oh, good God, Phillida, you can't be serious.
I'm game, if you are.
I do believe you are. Heaven.
Oh, absolute bliss.
Is it Sunday tomorrow? Do tell me it's Sunday tomorrow.
You know it's Sunday tomorrow.
Yes, I know, but I wanted official confirmation. Just think, Phillida, a whole day off. We can lie in bed.
You've done very well. We'll bring you breakfast in bed, won't we, Gareth?
I suppose congratulations are in order. At least you've stuck it out for a week.
A week? That feels like a century.
Never mind, Mummy. Think of that lovely wage packet.
Oh, Phillida, yes, the wage packet. Oh, rather, yeah.
They're curious, are they not? They remind me of those lavender sachets one had as a girl.
Yeah. Aren't you going to open yours?
No, you open yours first.
All right. No, you open yours first. No, go on.
It doesn't matter who opens who first. The main question is, which of the bills are we going to pay first?
Bills? Did you say bills?
Pull yourself together, Gareth. Have you gone stark, staring, raving mad? Do you suppose that your mother and I have slaved away from 9 in the morning till 6 at night from Monday to Saturday in order to pay the blasted bills?
I thought that was the general idea.
And all I can say to you, my boy, is you've inherited the family characteristic and gone clean off your chump. These wage packets are firmly earmarked for Rollo Bognor Regis's wedding.
Oh, No.
Oh, I must contradict you, Davina, yes. And there will be champagne cocktails in vast quantities, and don't say that we not deserve them.
Mum, Dad, do see sense. You can't possibly go to Rollo Bognor-Regis's wedding.
I fail to see why not.
Well, for one thing, you don't have any clothes.
What do you mean?
Tell him, Gareth.
I can't.
Well, one of us has to.
Coward. All right. Look, Dad, I've got something very important to say to you. It's about your morning suit.
Morning suit? What morning suit?
The morning suit you intended to wear to Rollo Bognor-Regis's wedding.
And what gave you the impression I was going to wear a morning suit?
You always have done.
In the old days, Davina, possibly, but these are not the old days, and times have changed and we've adapted to them. Damn it, that's how the Seacrofts survived.
But, Daddy, you're going to the Ritz for champagne cocktails.
If we are going to the Ritz, where champagne cocktails may very well be consumed, is because we've earned the wherewithal to get to the Ritz. Your mother and I have done a full week's work. Here are our wage packets to prove it. We are workers. Do you seriously suppose we shall go to the Ritz flying false colours?
No, Daddy.
Then there's nothing more to be said, Davina. They've deducted something extraordinary called national insurance from mine. Deducted something extraordinary called national insurance from yours.
And thank you most frightful.
It's charming. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very much indeed. Oh, how charming.
Now come along. Always the last to leave, as usual.
Splendid wedding reception. It's the best one you've ever had, in my opinion.
Oh. Well, anyway, I'm delighted that you were able to come, and thanks most awfully for the present.
Oh,
It's
yes,
absolutely delicious.
pleased. We're pleased that you liked it. We were just afraid we didn't know whether you preferred the fruit and nut or the plain milk.
You know, you are a couple of silly asses. What on earth made you think that this was a fancy dress affair?
Fancy dress? Whatever gave you that notion, Rollo? This isn't fancy dress. We've earned this rig out by the sweat of our brow, damn it, haven't we, Phillida?
Absolutely.
Well, I heard some ridiculous story that you were working for your living, but I naturally assumed that it was some sort of silly joke.
Oh, there was no joke, I assure you.
Awfully bad luck, you're losing your home and all that. I bet you wish you were back in Seacroft Hall tonight, eh?
Well, can't say we don't miss the old place, you know. Brandy and sodas by the fireplace, a few dogs, and old Barmforth buckling away in the background.
I never liked Barmforth.
Oh, well, it no longer matters a damn whether you did or not. The truth is, Rollo's obliged to change our ways. Took a bit of getting used to, but you know, Phillida, I do believe we've damn well made it, you know, dear.
You're damn well right, my dear.
Steady. Oh, yeah, yeah.